Say it again. They'll have to edit.
Yeah, say it again because we gotta edit that out.
Oh, fight what? Fight the power? Or
Just about like, do you?
fight the power.
PopUp Podcast. PopUp Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to PopUp Podcast. My name is Victor Sjöberg and we have a very exciting episode for you today. Me and Joanna went back to Valley High School where we talked to Laura and Eddie about what it's really like to be a teenager in Escondido. It's a pretty fascinating story for sure. After that, we're going to turn the tables on the teens and have them ask the questions. We have Maya and Chaveli interview Mr. Atwood and Mrs. Leaf, who are teachers at the school and also leaders of the Gay Straight Alliance. But first, Laura and Eddie.
Podcast.
My name is Laura. I'm a senior at Valley High School.
I'm Eddie. I'm a junior, and I come to Valley High School too.
So today we just want to have a conversation with you guys about what it's like to really be a teenager in Escondido. What is that reality for you? What's the drama that you have to deal with? Is it all furry kittens and rainbows, or is there some stuff that you think people should know about that happens to you? We just want to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, well, like, it's not really sunshine and kittens and stuff. Because, like, it all depends on, like, what type of race or color you are. You know, like, if you're Filipino, you don't really fit in Escondido because there's not much Filipinos here. Or, like, if you're white, obviously you're going to live by San Pascual or, like, you know, in the rich places. But obviously, like, us Mexicans, you know, like, brown people or, like, race, we gang up and stuff. Or, you know, there's some of us don't really like that, or, like, we're not like that at all. Or, you know, like, there's gangsters and there's, like, a bunch of other people that, you know, like, if they look at you, they look at you the mean way. And if you look at them back, obviously, like, they take that as, like, a challenge and stuff. Like, you want to, like, hurt them and stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, you have to keep it, like, low-key for yourself.
And is that the case even if those gangsters are Mexican too?
Yeah. Like, let's say that they don't know you because, you know, they grew up with them. Like, there's a side over here and there's a side over there. And if you grow on this side, then you're from this side, not from the other side. So if you go to the other side and you haven't been there, like, since you were, like, never, you know, you got there when you were 16, they look at you like, oh, where are you from? And, you know, like, I'm not from nowhere, dude. I'm just from Escondido, you know, just passing by, you know. And then they think you're, oh, no, you're lying. And, you know, you just are, like, something, I don't know, they call you a bunch of names. Yeah, or like they were talking about gay and straight alliance and stuff, you know, like if they say, oh, like they say that you're gay and stuff, and like they hurt you like to the point where you're like, oh, I just want to kill myself. Like literally they do that and they wouldn't care. And yeah, it's pretty crazy here. But other than that, it's a really nice place.
They also judge you from what you look, the way you wear. Like for my brother, of course, he used to wear these like big shirts, like big Dickies and like these Converse, and then like they used to like stop some cops used to like look at him and stop him just for like for what he was wearing. And in reality, he wasn't even like that. He was like a soccer player who just likes to dress like that. That was his thing. But then it was like, wow, which is surprising.
Do you feel pressure to fit in and to wear certain labels and to listen to certain music or whatever? Do you feel like you're Mexican enough if you're Mexican? Or, you know, are there people on campus that are like, well, you don't act Mexican, you dress like a white guy or whatever?
Yeah, it's called a whitewash person. Those people are weird. Like, let's say you go to Mission, because I went to Mission and I got expelled. No, I didn't get expelled, but I got kicked out because I wasn't doing the best there. And
Mission Middle School, that's what he's trying to say.
Mission Middle School. And I wasn't really doing the best there, so they sent me to Hidden Valley, where Laura goes to. And it's really different. Like, the kids at Mission, they're all like rap and this and that. And I went to Hidden Valley, and like there's a little bit of people there, but everybody's listening to rock, or they're all white, or like they're all whitewashed, and then it's a different environment for me. So I kind of noticed that, you know. And like for me, it wasn't really a bother, you know, because I didn't care. I wasn't an ignorant person. I didn't, like, you know, judge someone by the way they looked or stuff they wore. Like, I'm not that type of person. I think that answers your questions, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Do you guys feel that the presence of the gangs in Escondido is does it really affect your life? I mean, is it scary for you to walk around certain parts of Escondido, or?
Kind of, yeah. It kind of is really scary. Like, see, for a girl, it's like you can't walk at night alone because you're gonna have to, like, you're really sketchy about, like, oh my god, like, and there's this place in Escondido that it's like it has like a bad reputation, like mostly gangsters supposedly. And then, like, you can't walk there. Like, if I would ever to walk, like, let's say that's a short way to my house, and then that's a short way, but it's a scary place. If there's a long way and it's a safe place, I would take that place and save that place. That's really scary for a girl, because you don't know what could happen. So.
Yeah, it's not much for a guy. I mean, like, for a guy, it's, you know, you have to be a man about it. You know, if there's a bunch of guys trying to go after you, you know, like, obviously you grow up with, like, your parents, you know, saying don't be like that, you know. But you have to be, like, you know, don't show that you're scared, or, you know, because, like, if you're scared, obviously they're going to start doing things to you. But, you know, you man up to whatever they're doing, and, you know, they start chasing you, obviously you're going to run because, you know, you're going to get hurt. But, you know, like, getting away from those things are, like, it's pretty good, you know?
When you guys were younger, or even now, were gangs trying to, like, recruit you, or were they trying to sell you drugs? I mean, you know, like, for me, this sounds like an after-school special, you know, like a movie that you would watch about, like, you know, don't cross those tracks because on that side of town, these people are going to, you know, jump you. And this is your reality, you know, and I think that a lot of people out there don't realize that this is reality for a lot of teens, you know, especially in this community.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I was smaller at Mission, actually, that's why, like, I wasn't really doing that good, because my cousins, they're not really my cousins, but, like, we grew up a lot together, and, you know, they got into gang lives and stuff, and they told me, hey, like, you know, like, everything's chill over here, and I used to get bullied a lot when I was a little kid. I was, like, in fifth year, you know, 5th grade, and I got bullied a lot there, and, like, I couldn't stand it no more, and I got a 6th grade, and I just like, every person that bullied me, I just, like, beat the crap out of them after that. Like, I wasn't doing good, and the gangs, like, they saw what I did, and then there's this one, like, black kid, and then didn't like him, and they wanted me to hurt him, and I said, okay, like, I don't like black people anyways, too, and that was back then, obviously. Not like that no more, but, yeah, I beat him up, and, like, I felt good about myself, and my cousins were like, oh, yeah, dude, like, that was good, blah, 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 you know. And then they introduced me to drugs, and I was, like, just 6th grader, you know, and, like, I don't know, like, right now, seeing a 6th grader doing that is, like, wrong, you know, like, I don't know why they would do that, you know, but, like, I thought it was cool, you know, just for doing that. But being influenced by them was pretty easy, you know, because I was small, and I just wanted to fit in. And, like, you know, I was just tired of bullies and stuff like that. But as I got older, like, I just started noticing it's not a good thing to do. I was, like, in there for, like, I was 6th grade, 7th grade, and then 8th grade, kind of, you know? Yeah, so I was never into the gang, but I was, like, always with them, always hanging out with them, you know, always, like, you know, just doing what they're doing, you know, like, yeah. I was, like, just, like, the sidekick, I guess you can say, yeah.
What was it that changed? Like, how did you resist that? I mean, how did you kind of get back on the right path?
Well, my grandma, she passed away, like, not that long ago. And my grandma, like, she told me that that's not a good way to go, and that's not a good thing to do. But obviously, me as an ignorant kid, I just ignored them. And my parents, too, they said the same thing. Until this one time, there was a shooting, like, close to there. And I was right there seeing everything. And, like, I was in 7th grade, and I saw everything that happened. And it just woke me up. I was like, what am I doing here? I shouldn't be here, you know, like, I'm going to get myself killed, you know, before I even turn 18 probably. And I'm 17 now, which is awesome, you know, so I'm not dead yet.
That's good. We're glad you're not dead, because we're glad you're here.
So, yeah, pretty much, like, all of that thinking and stuff, you know, just made me, like, think, like, I shouldn't be doing this, you know. And there was other people there that saw I wasn't hanging out there no more. And, like, oh, where have you been? And I was like, oh, I just been hanging out with, you know, my friends and stuff, you know. And they're like, oh, that's great, that's cool, man. Like, yeah. And then they started telling me what's been happening, and, you know, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't really want to know anything about it no more, you know. Yeah.
Has coming to Valley, and this is for both of you, has coming to Valley kind of gotten you on that right path? Like, are you more focused now? Are you planning to go to college? I mean, was this the right choice for you guys to come here?
Yeah, it was.
So
Very
talk about
good.
that a little bit.
I was, like, struggling through depression and stuff, and I was on the edge of suicide. I had depression for 2 years, and actually coming here, and thanks to him, he actually helped me too. My depression actually lifted. I got, like, a stress, like, oh my god, like, something, like, this big heavy thing was on top of me, and then like just went away. That's when I started coming here. And after like coming here to Valley, everything went like awesome. Like I'm getting scholarships. I'm actually gonna graduate on time, and I'm actually gonna do something with my life instead of thinking like a year ago saying, oh, I'm probably gonna end up in the streets or something, like a hobo or something, or homeless person. That was like what I was thinking, or like probably dead because I don't know what's going on with me. So actually coming here was like the best thing that happened to me.
Why were you so depressed?
It's kind of personal, but it was about my weight. I was I don't know, like I thought I was like heavy, and like I didn't like myself. I really hated myself so much that I was truant. So I didn't go to school, and then I got like let's see how to say it. Yeah, well, I was just truant. They put me on probation and stuff, and I got behind on school, and like everything just went bad thanks to that.
And being in this environment, I mean, we were just interviewing some people from the Gay Straight Alliance, and they were talking about how, you know, it's really created a lot of tolerance on this campus, and how you guys go through that training program when you get here. Did that really help you kind of get out of that depression because you were able to just be around so many people who were so positive, and obviously Eddie is, you know, pulled you out of that as well. And it sounds like this school has really done a lot for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Eddie?
What about it?
Like when you were kind of getting involved with some of that violence and stuff, is that when you realized that you had to come here to Valley?
No, the reason I came here was because I used to have really sticky fingers. Like I would like steal things and stuff. And me and my friend, like we had this plan actually. Like I'm not really afraid to talk about this no more. Like whatever's about it. But me and my friend were thinking like, oh, this kid has an iPod. It's like a nice iPod. It's a new iPod, and he wanted it. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll help you. And me, like as a good friend of his, like I've known him since we were small. Like yeah, sure, okay. So what happened was that I just carried the kid, and my friend took away the iPod from him and ran away with it, and the kid just like he started like telling me, hey dude, let me go. I was like, oh, all right, I'm sorry, and like I let him go. But on the little police things, it says that I slammed him on the ground, which is that's not right. That wasn't true, and that got me really mad. What happened was that I put him down, como like just put him down.
Stood him on the ground, yeah.
Stood him on the ground, and he just like he went to go run after the kid too. Like he wasn't on the ground, he wasn't crying, he wasn't doing anything, and I was just right there like doing nothing. And at the end of that, the cops came on Monday to school because it was on a Friday. The cops came on Monday to school, and they blamed me for everything. And I was like, oh well, whatever. It's like stuff happens, you know. But the teachers there, the assistant principal, I think it was, he said that I was only gonna get suspended for 5 days. And I was like, okay, well, like, it's fine. I didn't do nothing. I'm okay, whatever. And next thing you know, the cop comes in. He says, oh, you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say or do, you know, all that stuff. And then, but I just looked at him with, like, the angriest face. Like, really, like, he lied to me. He said I was going to get suspended when I got arrested and expelled from the school. And from then on, like, I started thinking, like, well, I was in juvenile hall. I was there for, like, a week. And I wasn't really much, but they said I committed 2 felonies, which is robbery and extortion. And also I traumatized the kid supposedly. And I was like, no, like I said I'm sorry to the kid. I wrote a letter and everything. And he said he was okay with it, you know, like he's like, and then they didn't press any charges, which is good. And then I did everything good. Like I had like 3 or 4 months of home supervision and 2 years of probation. And I did everything perfect, and they put everything down to misdemeanors, which is good. What were we talking about again? I'm sorry.
Just how you ended up at Valley, and how this has kind of like helped you on the path to where you're going now.
Oh yeah, then that's the reason I'm here. And anyways, since I got here, everything has been like pretty smooth. Like everyone helps you out. Mr. Barajas, he actually like talked to me. He's like, you'll make it, don't worry, you just have to do this and it's perfect, everything's good. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. You know, like the teachers over there at the other schools, they didn't do that. Like,
that's true.
They would just be like,
we came from the same school.
They would just be like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, you're probably not gonna graduate, so we're gonna send you somewhere else. And that kind of hurts the people, you know, discourages them and stuff, and that shouldn't be happening. And so every time people come here, like they just lighten up and like everything's perfect here, which is nice because everyone needs that, you know, like the school system here actually works, not like the other ones. it just, yeah.
That's really interesting because before we started this program with you guys, I didn't know a lot about Valley. And I think I had some preconceived ideas about the students who go here and what it must be like to teach, those kind of students. So I think that you guys telling your story is really going to change a lot of people's perceptions about what Valley is all about and why students come here and who the students are that come here.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there's kind of this negative perception about Valley and about Valley students
No.
in the greater community, not
People-
necessarily here?
People just like before when I was in the other school, people used to tell me, "Oh, Valley's not good. Valley's for like dumb people. Valley's this and that." And then my sister came here. Mostly of my family came here. And then like I've seen my sister, and then she actually graduated like good here. And then like I've seen okay, but they kept telling me Valley's bad, Valley's this. And then once I came to the RTP thing with Steve. He's saying that, oh, those are just rumors and stuff, like don't believe him. And then like when I started here at Valley, I started in December 17th of 2012, and I was like, wow, those are people that are so wrong. Like this is like not even like that. This is like awesome school. It's like the best teachers ever. Cause like over there in my other school, the vice principal over there told me when I was in my depression still, they told me, oh, you're not gonna graduate. So I was like, all my hard work for nothing. You're gonna tell me I'm not gonna graduate? And it's just like that, like nothing, like no emotion to it. Like she just said it. So I was like, wow. And then once I came here, it was like so different. Like it's actually a better school than usually my former school.
So what is in the future for you guys? I mean, you have so much potential and you have so much energy and life to you. Where do you go from here? What's next?
Me? Well, since I've been coming here and stuff, I've been like exploring more things, because everybody keeps telling me like you should like go do more things, because you're really like you're one of those people who like doing things and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I know. And actually some people from Ryla, the Rotary Club, they actually told Valley that they're looking for students for leaderism and stuff, and they actually chose me, Abby, and who else was AJ, and we all had to like compete to get into it. You had to write a bunch of stuff about ourselves and stuff, and at the end we just all got in.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what is
scholarship.
that? What is so it's a scholarship. So what is it that you're going to be doing?
Well, on April 19th, is it April 19th?
Yes.
Yeah, April 19th, we're going to go to some camp to go strengthening our leaderism skills. And also, at the end of our senior year, I think we're going to get a scholarship. I don't know. I don't know. And I think it's 16,000 or 6,000.
I think it's
I don't know.
16,000.
For college.
For college, yeah.
What do you want to study?
Well, I really don't know yet, but I kind of have an idea,
You're a very talented musician, as we've seen. Could there be some music in your future?
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I've always wanted to help people. Like, I've always loved helping people, and like, I've always loved the military. And because my dad, I guess he got drafted when he was young, and he never really talks about it. But like, he that kind of like wanted me to like. I kind of started thinking like, what else could I do? So there's some recruiters that came here at Valley High School. His name's Master Sergeant Gale. He actually told me about, I should join the Air Force, and I was like, I was thinking about it, and like I started searching it up, and I found out these people that it's called the Pararescue Team. It's PJs. They go out in the combat field, and they help out people. Like if someone gets their leg blown off or something, like God forbid that never happens, but like someone has that happening, and there's people shooting at them. Since I'm a paratrooper, I'm gonna have to go in there and save his life. Fix him up and stuff, and while like protecting him at the same time, so practically gonna be his guardian angel. So yeah, and I found out a lot about them, and it excited me a lot. So I really want to do that. Like I really do.
I think you'd be great at that.
Yeah.
What about you, Laura?
Well, me, I'm planning to attend Palomar College for 2 years, and then transfer to Santa Barbara, and right there major in zoologist.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
my
So it
goal.
will be all fuzzy kittens in your future. So I have one more question for you guys, and that is, as a teen who has grown up in this community, and you've seen the negative side of things, right? And now you've seen the positive side of things. There are these gangs out there that are trying to influence these young kids. What can we do about that? Those of us who want to help, right? Those adults who want to be positive influences in your lives, what can adults do to make things better for the
Never
teens
give
in
up.
Escondido?
Never give up. Never give up on the students, even if they're doing something bad. Like even if they're going in a bad road, never give up on them. Like show them that you actually care for them and support them, so they'll know, like, okay, I have someone to, like, rely on, then I should go talk to this person. And maybe if, like, they're really comfortable with you and they really trust you, then they'll talk to you about their feelings or all this stuff, and then you'll get to, like, okay, now I know what to do. Maybe now I know, like, how to help that person. So, like, yeah, never give up on anybody, on them.
Yeah, exactly.
What she said, right?
What she said.
That is good advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your stories and being so open with us. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you back here at PopUp Podcast next time.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Podcast.
My name is Chabeli. I'm a senior.
And we're from Valley High School, and I'm Maya. I'm also a senior. We're here to interview Mrs. Leaf and Mr. Atwood for GSA.
What is GSA about?
GSA stands for Gay Straight Alliance. So it's a school group that tries to provide support for kids who are different, maybe don't feel like they fit into the regular school. You don't have to be gay, you don't have to be straight. It's just a group for kids. We have some kids who are gay, some kids who are straight, some who are bi, some who are trans. So it's really for anybody to come find a place to get support and feel comfortable, and maybe find resources if they need them, and talk about issues of the day or personal issues.
What do you talk about in GSA?
Usually we let the kids decide. We let people in GSA decide what's going on with them. So, but sometimes Mr. Atwood and I would bring up something that we know that's happened in the news. Like, say right now, starting next week, the Supreme Court is going to start talking about Proposition 8. There was a very short period of time when gay marriage was legal in California, and Prop 8 was turned that back. So Prop 8 was a voter-approved initiative to deny equal marriage rights to gay couples in California. So we might talk about what the Supreme Court could do with their decisions about Prop 8 right now. But then if somebody's having trouble with a girlfriend or a parent or people on campus, we can talk about that too. Talk about ways to approach when you're treated badly out in the world, how to handle people who might not like the sign you're carrying in the Christmas parade, or who.
That sounds like a story. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, this year, for the first time ever in the history of the Christmas parade of Escondido, a gay identified group walked in the Christmas parade, run by the JCs. And it was our group. Valley High School had a whole bunch of groups. All of our student groups were able to bring representatives. And so Gay Straight Alliance, being the enthusiastic group that we are, we made T-shirts and we made signs. And we marched in with our colors on, and we marched in the parade. It was a little bit scary. So before we marched in the parade, we talked a lot about, since I grew up in this town, I reminded them that Escondido was an extremely conservative town, and that we might get some people who would be pretty uncomfortable with our message. And they did. JC's got some phone calls about us. But then they got phone calls about dogs pooping in the street too. So, and that's their job, people who put on the parade. But we also got really, really cool comments from people. Remember the old guy who came up and talked to us? Wasn't he awesome?
It was amazing.
He was, tell us what he said.
He was telling us how, like, he was so happy that finally we were, like, supporting, like, and, like, putting it out there, that Gay Straight Alliance and everything about gays. And
he was older too, wasn't he? He was like in his 60s, and he had been
his little Pomeranian dog.
He was so cute, and he had his nails done and his eyebrows done. He had been the Grand Marshal or whatever. He's a drag queen, so in San Diego, in the Pride Parade in San Diego a couple of times, and he was just crying. He was beaming. He was so happy to see high school kids doing that. And then another mom came up, and remember she had her young kids take their pictures with you guys.
Yeah.
She was like, it's just like, the Earth had turned on its axis in the opposite direction because people were brave enough to be out in Escondido, and that was pretty exciting. 2 years ago, we did big. We had a whole tolerance week, and kids on campus did set up booths, and each day we had a different theme. So examples of intolerance in various places. And one of the things we did was we provided resources for suicide prevention, and we posted facts all over the school about that that LGBTQ identified teens are much more likely to drop out of school and to commit suicide and to have drug and alcohol problems. So we put all that information out there, and then we picked a whole bunch of kids, because it was right around that time when a whole lot of kids were killing themselves or being bullied. And so we've been kind of the driving force of keeping that information out, getting that information out to everybody on our campus.
Podcast.
I came from another school site, and so their GSA wasn't as involved in the community. It was about the same size as ours, but they weren't as active in the community. So when I came into this school, I was kind of expecting that same kind of environment where, okay, we've got, 2 or 3 kids who kind of want to, they need that resource. They need that to be able to talk to somebody about the issues that they're having. But it was amazing, the first meeting that I came to in your GSA, you guys were talking about issues, and we were talking about, oh, well, what, Miss Leaf, what does that mean? And how, and she was firing questions back at you guys. Well, how does that affect your life? What is all, what is this issues that are coming up? How does that, how are you going to deal with that? And so she was really paying it forward to you guys, and you guys were thinking about, okay, how does this affect my life? How am I going to be able to deal with this when I get out in the world? And so that was an interesting approach, because I came into the GSA going, okay, I need to be a resource for my kids. And what I kind of found out was that you guys had already established that resource base. And so you were getting out into the community and making that difference, like marching in the Christmas parade and being a part of your community. Okay, I have the resources. I need to be able to go out into the world and kind of figure out my own way. And so that was extremely different than what I was used to.
Maya and Chaveli, I have a question for you. How and why did you guys initially become involved with GSA?
Well, for those who don't know, I'm bisexual, so that kind of brought it in. And at first, I thought it was just gonna be like we just discuss about if we're being bullied or something. But no, it's we also tell people about encourage people not stop bullying about gays and everything, just spread love, I guess.
That's Maya's mission, is to spread the love.
And how long have you known that you were bisexual? And you seem very comfortable with that, and you're comfortable talking about that. Did that take you a long time to get to that place? Did GSA help you become more comfortable, or were you already out before you joined GSA?
Well, I already knew, from the beginning I thought I was lesbian, but then towards middle school I kind of found out I liked guys, so I was open about it, and yeah.
Chaveli, what's your story?
Well, I'm just straight. I just don't really see anything wrong about it. I just want to show that I'm supportive, that there's nothing bad about it. Well, I don't see anything bad about it, and that's why I go, to support my friends.
They just high-fived each other. So, Mr. Atwood, I have a follow-up question for you. You mentioned that this is your first year here and that you actually came from another school system. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about how it's different being at Valley and what it's like to teach here versus, did you come from another public school or from, a private school, or what are the students like here that's different? What are some of the challenges that you face here?
Andres Lascaras, please come to the office. Andres Lascaras, please come to the office.
Obviously at a school.
Yeah. Some of the challenges, I did come from another public school. I'm actually in the middle of my student teaching. So for those of you who don't know, student teaching is basically an internship process for incoming teachers. So incoming teachers have to participate in a year-long process where they are in classrooms with certified teachers, and they are they are leading the classrooms. They are creating and designing lessons. They are creating and designing assessments. They are creating and designing lessons, and then they're teaching them to the kids. So as part of the requirement to get a credential to become a public school teacher, you have to participate in this credential process. And so I was assigned to another public school here in North County, and then I was told after my first semester that I would be transferring here to Escondido. And so coming into Escondido, actually, I have a ton of experience. I worked for the juvenile justice system for a long time, so I kind of understood how continuation programs worked. And so one of the things that kind of shocked me about Valley was the fact that they have what's called an RTP program. It's responsibility training. And basically what it is students who are coming into Valley have to attend a 3-week training course, and they're literally trained on this is how this school works. If you want to come here, this is what this is what you need to know. And so that was really huge for me, because coming from the backgrounds that I come from, we typically don't have that. In a lot of continuation schools, it's just, okay, you got kicked out of your regular school, you show up on Monday. And if you cause a problem, we'll kick you out. You'll be out for 2 days, you come back. If you continue to cause a problem, we'll just kick you out, you'll come back.
And at Valley, can students opt to come here, or is this sort of like you have to come here?
It is a school of choice, so you can choose to come here. You can't. We do have voluntary transfers. It's interesting. A lot of them are siblings or cousins of kids who've been here before. What happens usually is with kids who voluntarily come here, they're behind in credits. So somebody notices that, counselor, AP, whatever, at their regular school, and they'll say, okay, here are your options. And Valley is one of your options. Would you like to go there and get caught up in your credits? And then, and I think most continuation in high schools, the idea is that you would go back to your home school. But most kids, once they get here, the culture of this school is so great, and people start to feel this great ownership of this school, and they're so welcome. And we have this unique program. Other than our training program, we have our first period connections class. So my group of connections kids, maybe I have 20 to 25 of them, they're with me first period until they graduate. So we become a family. We meet with their parents every 12 weeks. We become very bonded. And so they don't want to leave that. They want to stay, and they want to stay here and graduate. And they're part of our Valley family. But then we, of course, do take a lot of involuntary transfers. Kids, because you have to be up to age 17 and a half, have to be in school. And so maybe it could be for a variety of reasons, for drugs or behavior or whatever the case may be, and they are involuntarily transferred here. But we usually turn them too, and they end up really happy here too and staying. Every year we have a couple of kids go back to their comprehensive high schools, but most kids, once they're here, they're really happy here.
Is it challenging? I overheard some other teachers talking about students who they haven't seen for, a week or so, or is that a challenge when you don't know kind of what's going on with them, or they don't show up for school for a couple of days? And is it hard to, like with us, we had somebody who was coming on a regular basis, and then now we haven't seen him, and so we worry about him, and we want him to be here. And is that stuff that you face at a public school, or is that more of a challenge that you've faced in being here?
Well, we do. That's a huge problem. In fact, that's probably why the majority of our kids are here, because they have chronic issues of absenteeism or truancy, and it's really impossible to pass classes if you're not there for 2 to 3 days out of the week. Here, we work really hard on increasing their attendance. But again, that first period class we have, there's some adult paying attention to you every single day, greeting you in the morning, expected to start your day with them. And so I think this is more so than at a large school where they have 35 or 40 people in their classes. We actually have the time to call them and to say, if Maya were in my fourth period class and I noticed she wasn't showing up, first thing I would do would be email or talk to, in the lunchroom probably, her connections teacher and say, where is Maya? What is going on? And they will say, oh, well, something's going on in the family, and so she's at home. We're just so much more connected with the kids here than they are at a comprehensive site.
I can tell you right now that there's a huge movement in teacher preparation and training teachers to be aware of students who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, and to be aware of students who speak a second language, or be aware of students who have learning disabilities or special needs. I can tell you, just last week, my cohort, the group of people that I'm with in the training program at Cal State San Marcos, we went to Carlsbad High School's GSA after school, and we did a 3-hour workshop on, okay, how do we address these issues in classrooms? What do we do? How do we deal with a student who says faggot in the middle of class? How do you address those issues? How do you be a resource for kids who may have no one else? And so there's a huge amount of education that's going out there for teachers who are going to be taking over classrooms and filling the shoes of the teachers who are retiring. So there's a big movement out there to educate student teachers and future teachers on how to deal with these issues and what to say and how to be a resource and how to try and create an environment in your own classroom that's safe. And so by doing that at the ground level, you're building a structure that's going to include everybody. And it's not just LGBT kids. It's kids who have trouble speaking English. It's kids who have troubles focusing in class. So there's a huge push for that, especially amongst the up-and-comers. So it's really big.
Well, thank you guys so much. Unless you have any last comments or questions, we just want to thank you for your time and for sharing your stories and for the great work that you're doing. You are absolutely making a difference. You are being wonderful role models to each other and to the students here on campus. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maya.
Gay for gay.
Gay for gay. You should have a t-shirt that says that.
She does, has a sign that says that.
PopUp Podcast is brought to you by the Escondido Public Library. Check us out at popuppodcast.org.
Podcast.
See you next time.